Hello to everyone and welcome to the first vlog of the new year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. And for those of you who worked over the break, thank you. And I hope that you were at least able to get some well-deserved time away to connect with your loved ones. Feeling connected to something that we really value at AHS, which is one reason we launched the Workforce Resource Groups back in 2019. These voluntary groups bring together members of our workforce who share common identities, characteristics, bonds, and backgrounds, and to ensure that those who may be marginalized or those experiencing barriers have the support and resources that they need to feel connected and grow. The purpose is to provide our people with a structure to support their unique needs related to specific characteristics, including visible and invisible identities or qualities. Workforce resource groups include and welcome ally members. Members can network, address common issues and concerns, and receive support for those with similar backgrounds, experiences, or interests. These groups directly link to the Diversity and Inclusion Council. Now 900 members strong and still growing, these groups help us improve our sense of belonging, inclusion, and engagement for all. So here to tell us more are the co-chairs of our three current workforce resource groups. We have Jenny Van Nistelrooy, who's the Manager, Contract Strategy and Performance, EMS, and co-chair of the EMS Women Leaders Workforce Resource Group. Andrew McCloskey, Senior Organizational Change Management Specialist, Technology Services, IT, and co-chair of the Proud Together LGBTQ2S Workforce Resource Group. And Randall Bell, Senior Advisor, Indigenous Populations, Provincial Planning Capacity Management, and co-chair of the Ethnic Minority Workforce Resource Group. So thank you to all three of you for joining me today. So Jenny, I'm going to start with you first. Can you tell us exactly how the idea behind these groups came about and maybe a bit more time about their overall purpose?
The idea began in 2018 when the AHS Diversity and Inclusion Council identified workforce resource groups as a priority to support workforce inclusion. These groups are also often referred to as employee equity groups or employee resource groups. However, AHS chose to use the term workforce to ensure that physicians and volunteers also felt welcome and included. The D&I Center of Expertise then researched best practices from organizations across Canada to develop the framework for our WRGs to ensure that they were sustainable and provide value to the workforce and the organization. WRGs are voluntary, employee-led groups that bring together members of AHS who share common identities, characteristics, and backgrounds. They're about elevating voices and providing individuals with the opportunity to grow in their work, build a sense of belonging, and feel heard within our very large organization. Members have opportunities to network, attend educational development sessions, and address common issues and concerns while feeling supported by those who share similar backgrounds, experiences, and interests. While the primary focus of the WRGs is on advancing the needs of its members, they also benefit the organization by providing valuable perspectives and input on barriers faced by the WRGs that can be used to enhance organizational programs and priorities.
Each of you are your co-chairs of workforce resource groups, so I'd love to hear a bit more about them and what you've been doing. So Andrew, let's start with you and the Proud Together group.
Well, despite the pandemic, we had our official launch on April 1st, right in the middle of the lockdown, which we held online, of course. It was a great way for folks to meet for the first time and confirm our priorities, which are to influence culture change, connect our communities, and ignite capacity for diversity. We also held what we called an idea jam, which was an opportunity for members to brainstorm ideas for things that they wanted to see done in those three areas. It was a lot of fun, and it really allowed members' creative energies to shine through. And then our most visible highlight for the year was definitely our AHS Pride drives that we had in both Edmonton and Calgary. They were a way for members and allies of our communities to celebrate Pride while maintaining physical distance, of course, and to thank healthcare workers for all that they've done to help us keep us safe and to protect us. And we hope that for those who came down to the front of their buildings to cheer us on as we drove by, that it brought a little burst of joy into their day. So those were definitely our highlights for 2020, and we're looking forward to making more highlights in 2021.
Rando, I'm going to come to you. What was the ethnic minority workforce resource group, and what has that group been up to?
Our workforce resource group is over 600 members strong. So these are members all across the province, a very large group of people. So we've really been kind of focused on that front end governance piece to really ensure people's voices were heard, that they had an opportunity to contribute. So we've kind of finished our series of elections, and we've put together a governance committee with co-chairs, vice chairs, secretary leads, activity leads, communication leads, and we've just been really busy with all the things that go into it. The SharePoint leads have their SharePoint site up and running. Our communications leads have just actually finished our second newsletter going out to all these 600 members. Our secretary leads have been busy keeping us all organized and informed. So we just really feel like we've hit the ground running with an extremely engaged and energetic and enthusiastic group of people. We're clearly very passionate about the work, and obviously very happy to be a part of it.
Over to you, Jenny. Tell us a bit more about the EMS Women Leaders Workforce Resource Group.
So our EMS Women in Leadership WRG was actually formed in late 2019 in response to frustrations and challenges that were experienced and voiced by women who were trying to progress their careers within EMS. So our WRG was built to promote a safe, healthy, inclusive, and diverse culture within EMS by identifying and addressing the barriers that women face and providing a dedicated space where women and their allies can collaborate, discuss, and promote strategies to achieve equal leadership representation and opportunities for women within EMS. So the first year has been crazy busy for our governance committee. We created our framework documents in year one action plan. And in November, we actually became an officially sanctioned WRG within AHS. We also hosted our first event for our members, which was a virtual coffee networking event where they had time with two of our senior leaders to ask questions about their career journeys and anything else they wanted to ask them and have never had the opportunity to.
So Andrew, coming to you, how would someone go about creating a WRG?
There's definitely room for more workforce resource groups at Alberta Health Services. First person would want to go to the Diversity and Inclusion webpage on Insight. There's the resource groups tab there, and all the information on starting a workforce resource group is available, like an application form, terms of reference, and there's even a template that you can use to create your first year work plan. Have a look at that information and then connect with a few other like-minded individuals to form a core of your group. Complete the application and submit it, and when it's approved, you'll have access to all of the resources and support that the diversity and inclusion team offers, as well as being connected to the other workforce resource groups. That's it. It's really not that hard to start a workforce resource group, so get to work on those applications.
So I'm going to finish with a final question to all of you. What's your hope for the workforce resource groups for 2021? So Rando, I'm going to start with you.
I think we're really excited to continue that kind of fast-moving momentum that we had going into the holidays, and really channeling some of that energy into some exciting new developments in 2021. One of them is Black History Month, taking place in February, in which we honor and acknowledge the contributions of Black Canadians. This is especially important given the Black Lives Matter movement, which is going global. We also want to begin to look at different ways that we can engage our wider ethnic minority membership, growing peer support networks, so that members can access support from peers who've had similar challenges or experiences. We also want to promote ethnic minority allyship through conversation, education, and awareness. We're going to continue to support the Diversity and Inclusion Council with the work they're doing, specifically the AHS Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. But our first priority in the new year will be completing our action plan and meeting with the Canadian Centre for Diversity and Inclusion, hopefully to get us kick-started on that. So I think 2021 is going to be a big year for us, and we're really looking forward to starting some of this exciting new work and ultimately providing another avenue of support for AHS staff.
Jenny, over to you.
My hope for WRGs for 2021 is that they continue to gain the momentum they've started throughout AHS as everyone begins to recognize the support and the value that they offer. And hopefully we can actually host our first Tri-WRG event or greater if we get some more WRGs in time.
Perfect. And finally, Andrew, 2021, what's that holding out for you and your WRG?
Well, first, before I answer that, I just want to take a moment to say hello to my nephew and nieces, Cohen, Bella, Theo, and Hallie. I'm really thrilled that they can see a conversation about diversity and inclusion taking place with the CEO of Alberta Health Services. So thank you for that, Verna. As for Proud Together, we're hoping to continue to expand our membership and increase our visibility across the organization. And if 2020 for us was about confirming our 3 priorities, 2021 is going to be about action, which includes things like encouraging staff to add pronouns to their email signatures, finding ways for members and allies of our communities to share their stories across the entire organization, and of course, celebrating Pride. And I think lastly, and I'm sure we'll all agree, it would be really nice to eventually have at least one in-person event, even if it's towards the end of the year, and hopefully vaccines will help with that. So that's what we're looking at for 2021.
Thank you so much to all 3 of you, but in particular, thank you for your leadership, for your passion and commitment to diversity and inclusion in Alberta Health Services. And Andrew, hello to your niece and nephew. You know, these groups are really an incredible support for our people, and I'm so excited to see where they're going to take us in the future. If you have any questions or would like to consider joining a group, you can find more information by searching Workforce Resource Group on Insight, or you can email diversityandinclusion@ahs.ca. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear from you. I think the one thing that we hear loud and clear today is the importance of connection, the importance of inclusion, diversity, and supporting one another. And this is especially important during these trying times. We know that things are difficult, and even though we've got hope with the vaccine, you know, the first few months in 2021 are still going to be hard. We're going to need each other to get through this. So please continue to support each other and stay connected. Both executive leadership team and myself, we will continue to support you as best as we can. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week.
Together, we do amazing things every day.